Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Club Cod3x, another exciting edition. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for returning. And to all you new people, thanks for being here. We're going to be talking about why is this happening to us, dude? Why is the whole market going down? Why are all of our favorite little AI tokens the hardest hit, it seems like? What segments are holding up? What AI tokens are actually retaining value and are more likely to bounce back the hardest? We're going to cover it all. We're going to cover why this is happening, give you some hopium, some alpha to maybe prepare you for what's coming next, and much more. So please stick around, and we'll see you in the show.
Got that CDX token, we the ones chosen. Every stake, every year, while I stay golden. Cod3x Club, AI not focused, it's an anthem. CDX got them frozen.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Corval, and today on today's Club Cod3x, we have everyone's fan favorite, the Dr. Doom of financial analysts, Charles Chucky DeFi himself, and Diddy's favorite DeFi pop star, Justin Bieber. How you fellas doing today?
Doing good. I just ate the world's healthiest fast food sandwich.
What's that? The filet of fish?
Subway?
It is apparently, and let me make sure I'm not mincing my words here, the Jack in the Box sourdough grilled chicken club sandwich.
Sounds disgusting.
And I washed it down with an equally healthy, large lemon drink.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, times must be hard. You know, the markets really are down bad, where even famed CEO Justin Bieber here is eating Jack in the Box, which, from my impression, I've never had a Jack in the Box, but everyone's always told me it's the absolute worst.
He's downgraded from lemonade to
Charles,
lemon drink.
quiet.
It's over.
It's good. Jack in the Box is like, I think Jack in the Box, so hers, the vitamin brand, for some reason just released an infographic detailing the healthiest and least healthy fast food sandwiches. And Jack in the Box dominates both categories. So I like to think of them. They just have such a wide range of tech. You know, it's a lot like Codex. You know,
interesting.
It makes you think.
That is quite interesting. I want to check in with Charles, but it seems like he's having a little bit of mic trouble here for now.
I heard him just fine, personally. But
really, it's showing he's muted on my screen.
Oh, he might be muted.
Charles, you heard that, Beavis?
Oh,
I didn't.
I heard it for a split second.
Hello.
Whoa, there he is.
Hello.
What? Is it just me?
You might have muted him for you.
No, that's not.
Audience, can we get some audience members commenting? Do you hear Charles?
Samson says he's good.
Yes or no?
Oh wait, I got to put on my green screen too. You're right.
We have people shilling pump fund tickers in the YouTube comments. That's how we know we're doing really good.
Oh yeah, that's how we know we're on the come up. This is going to be quite. You're going to have to mediate then, because I cannot hear Charles. I guess I could leave the studio and come back.
No,
sorry for the small technical difficulties, folks.
All right, Charles is going to leave and then return.
No, I'll leave. Okay, well,
everybody leave. It's me only now.
Yeah, just have you run this whole shebang yourself.
You know this is going to be a good show.
Well, while we're waiting for Charles, this is the first thing I wanted to talk about as we kind of get into like the news, the sentiment. This post took 6 months to be brainstormed by 3 committees of 17 people. Hello, World Computer. This is the most recent tweet from Ethereum. And
why are they tweeting that in 2025?
Who knows, dude? Because
that's awesome.
It's not.
It only took them $100 million to create that tweet.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They have all this money and they can't make the price go up. What's happening?
That's actually really funny that they're tweeting that. Ethereum is like, they're like rediscovering themselves. Salana has them so tilted. And it's like, the thing is, none of the people, none of the Ethereum Ivory Tower people have actually used Salana. And they don't know that it's like totally unusable. So all of them are like only reading VC tweets about Salana. None of them actually know what Solana's value proposition is. So they're just like running around in circles. Just use the chain, fellas. That's my recommendation. I've bought some shitters on Solana.
What is the Salana? What is the Solana value proposition? Isn't it VC, venture capital money? It's like same as like Uber.
The Salana value proposition is you have basically infinite exit liquidity if you're willing to go there.
I can hear you loud and clear now, Charles.
And that's a pretty good value proposition.
Dude, that's
And
a
by the way,
great value
can-
proposition.
Can you hear me?
There,
Corval?
so many
Mhm.
people are up so
Okay.
big on Sol that they need you to launch your token there so that they can get some exit liquidity. So
Incredible.
Nice. So they're
it's
kind of where
awesome.
Ethereum
And
was.
ETH's value proposition is it actually works good.
And
Well,
that's not
didn't
good.
ETH
That's a great value prop. It's like ETH, Ivory Tower people, just fucking use Solana. Okay, that's literally all you have to do, and you'll understand exactly what your purpose is and how to market your chain.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
It'll never happen though.
No,
It'll never happen.
well,
They're just
isn't it
too
like
busy reading
similar?
papers.
It's a similar problem though, right? Where it's like Ethereum guys made a lot of money. Why would they want to go to Solana, right? Off the ICO. So
I mean, Solana is
even at
cool because
3G,
it's like
rich,
it's hot. You know, stuff's
Yeah.
happening there.
hot new thing.
People are
Maybe
trading.
if they figured out how to pump the token, our CEO can go back to lemonade instead of lemon drink. Like
That's
a
right.
chump.
Yeah,
That's right. This
Lemon
is
drink.
We're
synthetic
truly down bad.
synthetic lemon lime green beverage.
I'm surprised you
Oh.
could get anything since the whole state's on fire. But anyway, let's move on a little bit here to. Well, I want to check in with Charles. Charles, how you been, dude? What's been popping with you? Well, I guess everyone in the audience heard this is just for my benefit.
I don't think I said anything. What has been popping? Not much. It's cold outside. I have to take vitamin D every day because the
Okay.
sun doesn't shine.
Wow.
Wow.
And I don't know, just living
I
life,
got this
doing lots of Muay
new
Thai.
supplement for $1
Mm-hmm.
in the clearance section. I got 2 things of it, only $1. Sunny Mood. I don't know if it's what's giving me. You guys know what it's giving me.
A sunny
but,
disposition.
I've been taking a lot.
Yeah, Beavis has been bursting with energy.
I've been bursting with something.
All right, cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about.
Charles knows.
Oh, I know too. Let's move on to. That sounds so ominous, doesn't it? That sounds so weird. We know.
Sounds
Dude.
weird. Let's move on.
Breaking news, gotta drop the bomb. Out of school since mom was prom.
Is this true, Taylor Hill? Is this breaking news? What XRP just gained like 3% market dominance?
XRP, because it's like mostly traded by like 5 or 6 people. Every time it's like Hex. Every time there's a dump, they're just like, what if our coin goes up? And then we post the bubble chart and say it's the strongest coin ever. No,
Holy
XRP.
crap, dude.
The issue with XRP is that they advertise an amount of transactions settled through the lifetime of the chain that Ethereum regularly settles in a day, and that Solana settles in like half a day.
An hour. Yeah.
But you have to see this here. He is not lying. This is a huge spike in market dominance. But I think, like you're saying, this is more kind of like an isolation of that market as compared to the rest of the market.
It's not correlated. And the thing is, that's kind of a good thing. The fact that you can just trust that, Mr. Garlic House and co are going to pump it whenever there's a market dump. It's like flight to safety. And honestly, a lot of what we're seeing there is probably people doing that exact play.
Flight to safety, flight to safety. What truck stop did you get your sunny mood from?
Well, every time I go to a truck stop, I achieve a sunny mood by engaging with the locals and eating a fresh donut.
He's not like your other VCs, your other Silicon Valley tech guys. He's out there hanging out in the truckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're changing tires.
The real Americans.
Yeah.
Crypto GG.
This is grassroots.
It is.
That's what grassroots means. It means that
It's
the
true,
project
true,
founder
true.
hangs out at truck stops.
I have a pair of Nike Air Monarchs on my shelf. That's how
baller,
grassroots
dude.
I am.
When can I create my own agent to trade for me? I'm tired of getting wrecked. Sooner than you might think. Young.
Much sooner than you might
Young
think,
Crypto
Mr.
GG.
Crypto GG. You're going to have your own Tony,
Mhm.
and you're going to interact with it, and you're going to develop a parasocial relationship with it, and then your
Tony's
wife
gonna become your girlfriend, dude. Now moving on a little bit here to more news. I described a couple of great topics just to throw out there, a little news barrage for you. Tether relocates to El Salvador, new chapter in cryptocurrency. Quite exciting. Quite exciting.
That's actually really awesome.
BlackRock.
My in-laws, I have in-laws in El Salvador.
Oh, really? I got enemies in El Salvador, so we're gonna bomb that bitch. So be careful, bro. Tell me to get out of there. BlackRock, crypto outpaces mobile and internet growth. We got this nice little chart here. It's saying that crypto has grown so much faster than these other sectors over time. I don't know if that necessarily means crypto is going to be bigger or if that just means we are more networked than ever before. So obviously it's going to be a little bit easier. And then finally here, a little more crypto-centric news, like more practical. Charles tipped me off to this. Time swap, TGE happening soon, huh?
Nice.
Yeah, it's happening this week.
Is it going to be on Hyperliquid?
A bit. I only glanced at it because it looks like they're using the Hyperliquid spot market, but then they said they're using Ford Foundry. Is Ford Foundry on Hyperliquid?
I don't think so, but you can use it just for a regular community resale type joint,
Right,
and then they'll
right.
probably take the liquidity and move it over to Hyperliquid spot.
True. So
But
not
that's
an
cool.
LVP, but an LGE. Yeah.
I'm excited to
it is
see how
cool.
the Hyperliquid gang engages with this. I'm going to be looking at it closely.
I will full port my entire Hyper portfolio into this because I trust Charles.
That's
Everything
not
Charles
what I
says,
said.
I follow.
Yep, I just do whatever Charles tells me to do.
Yep.
Yeah, well, TimeSpot's cool. They were actually the first Oracle-free protocol in DeFi, which is kind of interesting. And it's a cool protocol. They're launching at 20 million FDV, which I'm kind of like, I don't know. They're not the biggest protocol ever. And with this, that's right, Charles in charge. With the market being so red, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to defend that, but we'll see. Maybe they're just going to.
You know what?
It.
The reason that I'm excited to see how it performs is to determine the premium we can apply to projects launching on Hyperliquid. Because I mean, the thing is, project launches on Aerodrome, you can say that that warrants a valuation of at least 5 to 10 million if they're using the gauge correctly. Launches on Binance, 100 million with access to that many traders, that many users. Hyperliquid, it's like a little bit of a different story because it's permissionless. It's purely pay to play. So you're not necessarily expecting a level of curation. And the utility is roughly the utility you'd expect from a typical market maker, but it's owned, I think, predominantly by the users. Depositing to the HLP. If you're not familiar with Hyperliquid's token standard, HIP 1 and 2 or HLP 1 and 2, definitely read up on those. But one to watch. We'll check in. When are they launching, Charles? Maybe we'll check in next week. And
the 17th, I think, is the LGE, and then the float's going to be 20%, 10% airdrop, which is pretty big. So congrats to all the TimeSwap users. 10% airdrop, 10% public sale. 20% initial float, which is cool. Yeah.
Wow.
So good luck. Good luck, TimeSwap guys.
Good luck,
I'm
gang.
rooting for you. Yeah.
It's hard to be a DeFi protocol in 2025. But they're making their way.
Time, so yeah.
I think Hyperliquid kind of proved, it's still possible to get some heat, some power out there. Let's see if it carries through. Beautiful. So guys, check out TimeSwap if you're interested in that sort of thing. Not financial advice. Hell, not even a financial recommendation, just awareness. Now, moving on to the meat of the show here. I got charts that'll come up over the course of this. But let me tell you a story, okay? So I was on Twitter. I saw this. I wasn't even looking at charts. I don't look at the charts, okay? Big Daddy Corwell doesn't look at the charts. He buys, he forgets, he knows Charles is in charge, and Charles is going to take care of it. So I don't have to worry about it. But I saw this tweet. Man, I'm going to be honest here for a second. The AI16Z and AICC stuff have really hurt the AI sector in crypto a lot. I think people aren't buying anymore until we see real products. I think whole space, unfortunately, goes lower until then / mega PvP. So I hear this, I'm thinking, what is this joker talking about? What did AI16Z, AICC stuff is going on? I do a little investigation and I find this. Bankless is a unique combo of predatory and retarded. Taking such a massive reputation hit for just $1 million is simply astounding. Are they secretly broke? What is wrong with these guys? Now, the tweet is gone. A lot of tweets in this segment have been deleted since I first compiled it. but I'll try to fill you in. You got to believe me. They were there. The evidence is there in terms of the void that is there. But Kobe had a tweet asking what happened. Basically, what happened is AI Accelerate launched AICC, and they distributed 100% of the project tokens to 245 advisors, insiders, right? One of these being Bankless. Day one, Bankless just dumped everything, caused a massive downward spike, and then bought back in again their original allocation at a much cheaper price after securing $1 million in profit. So part of the problem with this is what got a lot of people upset is they're saying AICC scam, insider VC scam crap. And this is starting to, I guess, percolate a little bit throughout the system. Now, how this ties into, here we go. We can look at this a little bit. This is the AICC price, down 30%. We've seen worse launches in history. This isn't insane, right, guys? Insiders dump when it hits the market.
I'll do the full chart.
Okay, I mean it's only like a day, so I'll do the full chart.
Oh,
yeah, it might be
Bankless.
worse. It might have just been supported on CoinGecko, maybe not right away, so it might have been worse. It's probably worse than the launch.
A gap in the data there.
But yeah, I mean, the other part of this is that Bankless had, who did they have on the podcast? I think they had the founder of either AICC or the pad that they launched on. They had them on the podcast, and they were like, obviously shilling this project, shilling like the pad. They're like advisors, and I think it was like 3 hours.
The pad is in the launch pad?
Yeah, I think so. Apologies, I don't have all the info, but yeah, they it was like 3 hours, and like the gains right at the beginning were like millions and millions. So they just realized them immediately, and then got flamed. And then I think David from Bankless came on and was like, "Oh, it was a brain fart, and we bought all the tokens back." But obviously that's not good enough, and the damage was done.
And it doesn't hurt when here's a little bit more comprehensive of a chart here. Wait, this is Salana. Was it a Salana token?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You could see a classic kind of dribble.
I mean,
down.
the thing is, a lot of groups like Bankless, who are maybe getting really good deal flow, forget their role in a token launch, forget their role in being part of these teams as an advisor or as a supporter. And what that means really is that they try to be traders, they try to be market makers. And they think that, if it's ripping super hard, and I can cap some of the upside here, realize some profits, and then support the dip, I'm going to be a hero. I'm sure that's what someone back there thought. They were like, "Oh, dude, it's ripping. I'm going to be a genius." The liquidity, dude, Big Tony at 4 mil market cap has more liquidity than this token. To give you an idea of what we're working with here. So obviously, this is like Big Tony would body slam this chart and send them all to the depths. But you have VCs and stuff always doing that because they all eventually, if you get enough wins, if the market's hot, you think you're smarter than you are. And then you have to face reality. And the Bankless guys, I think the story of their existence is they're podcasters. They're talking to smart people all the time. And they talk to enough smart people that they forget that they're not really that smart.
Wow. I don't know if I'd go that far. I think it's more of they forget that they're pseudo news. So there's like ethics supposedly attached to this, right? Like,
I mean, as well, but it's like,
if I read the Wall Street Journal, I'm not expecting them to dump on me, even though they probably are, right? Like, if the Wall Street Journal editor says, we think this stock is great, it's a good buy, and then you find out that editor owns, like, I don't know, 10 million shares and dumps 8 million on the opening day, you're going to be kind of pissed off, right?
100%. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I'm just talking about, like, I read, I forget what his name is, but some of the Bankless guys describing the incident, and they described the person who sold the tokens as like he thought he was like being a good trader.
And he
It's like,
was.
that's not what the tokens are for. He wasn't, he wasn't, because he traded well over $1 million worth of credibility. And the amount of backtracking I've seen, backpedaling, whatever, is just really embarrassing. But yeah, I would say, just understand your role. I think if you can do that, you can go really far.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to try to freaking be a market maker. I just hold stuff, and then if it goes to zero, I'm like, darn it, maybe that wasn't the one.
Now, Cyber Strategy, I think, is asking this in connection to Crypto GG, which you posted in the chat. Yes, but this is a little off topic, but we have public APIs available to communicate with, to perform, retrieve your project's created agents, functions, and data. The answer is yes. Soon, but
yeah, there will. So
today.
right now, if you're familiar with us, we have had our like AI framework has been on the market for like 1.5 years. You can go to docs.usemoon.ai to read about it. And now Moon is becoming Codex. And with that, we will create a brand new API, migrate the old API, and the new API will let you create entire swarms of AI agents and do a bunch of cool stuff. So look forward to that. We'll probably talk more about that a little later. So stay tuned.
Yeah, right on. So back to this AICC thing. So I kind of want to draw this to draw some connections here, and hopefully you guys can support or challenge these. What I'm seeing here is this is like so AICC is kind of like a DAO for like launching tokens. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure that's what I got from the reading. It's not super important what they did, but they tie really heavily into the AI crypto narrative. From my perspective, that's the importance of this.
Yeah.
And what we've seen is a massive downturn market wide. As you can see, Ethereum's kissing 2.9K, a little scary zone. Bitcoin, scary zone. Everything is hurting. Everyone is scared of alt season ending. And the largest narrative going into this downturn was AI agents. And what we're seeing is a massive downturn across the board, but also a bunch of these little incidents around AI tokens that are being used to, in a way, explain why there's a market downturn, but also further spiking the ball down, right? Yeah. So you were going to see AICC go down a little bit anyway, because market's going down in general, but it's going to be worse when people are seeing Bankless doing what Bankless does. Because again, my point being, Bankless didn't do anything that extraordinary, something that doesn't happen to like 80% of token launches, right? But it is pretty crazy.
I mean, it doesn't happen from a Bankless, for example,
I was under the impression Bankless is pretty notorious for this.
I'm not sure. I mean,
I don't want to slander them.
They have this entity, Bankless Ventures, which invests in a lot of stuff. It's really an issue with vesting terms. It's a little bit on the founders, but it's also like, what do you?
I was gonna say all their other like seed rounds or advisor tokens are vested for the most part. So like, I don't know. I haven't heard of them doing this before, but I just don't think that there's been like the opportunity to really. Or hardly you get in like an early kind of advisor seed round and you get all your tokens. Everybody gets their tokens liquid day one. That's like a rare thing. Is that new? It's kind of new with these like new DAO launch tokens,
Yeah. It kind of flies in the face of typical logic for these kinds of things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like,
and these things are heavily exacerbated by the lack of liquidity as well.
Yeah.
It's like 100 mil market cap with $1 million of liquidity is pretty absurd. For
If only there was a platform or something out there that allowed you to launch a token with custom liquidity so you could kind of control this insane volatility out the gate. Unfortunately, it's not possible. Just kidding. It's Codex Tech. If you don't know, you better look it up. Now, moving on, though, I'm getting at a greater picture here that it's not just AICC darling here, AI16Z, everyone's favorite. You see them everywhere. Still up on the month, still up 0.2%. But over the last couple of days, literally like a week, taken a 50% tumble, over 50% tumble. The narrative people are pushing with this is that the founder of AI16Z is too rude, and he supported Bankless dumping, and he says all this mean things about all these other AI projects launching. Now, I had examples of this pulled up, but he has cleared his TL. He's got a smart PR team. They said get rid of all the tweets. But here is kind of a post from Clown World Jr., who says, supported A16Z in the past since about 20 million, but the behavior exhibited by the founder over the past week has made it no longer investable for me. Out accelerate, more like out yap. Essentially saying that all they do is talk. They're not actually out competing. They claim that they're out competing all their competitors, but they just have more mind share. And then this is even like a bad example of this. I don't think he's being that rude in here, but this is another guy trying to call out Shaw, saying he nukes coins, extracts money as a KOL, and just openly tears down products to push himself. One of the claims is that he launches a bunch of vapor projects and rugs, but I don't have any proof for that, so I'm not going to say that. Wow, we totally won. The conditions now perfect. Zero Bro from ever open sourcing. He's really directly attacking a direct competitor, Zero Bro, saying that they'll never be able to compete. There will never be a zero PY because if they commodify and simplify agent dev, they will be getting backlash. So we win by default on the game we are playing. If they open source, it will not be AI16Z versus Zero Bro. It will be Zero Bro versus their own whales who will pressure them out of it. Kind of just talking up his own project. Nothing really that damning there, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, he just seems like a shark. I just I don't know. The lack of self-awareness is kind of surprising to me. Like, even if I thought that way, I wouldn't say such things publicly in a Discord, to be honest. He's clearly a very aggressive business person. But you gotta, I don't know. It seems a bit dumb to say, I don't know.
Yeah,
such aggressive things in a public Discord about another project.
A nascent market like this.
Be the scammers did.
Here, I'll turn it back on. A nascent market like this, you can tell he's kind of inexperienced because his focus should be on growing the market sector, because discovery of liquidity and price, discovery of buyers, whatever, we haven't even gotten close yet. And this is why I think differentiating someone like him and someone like Danny, Danny knows what the fuck he's doing. And you can see Danny is not focused on growing Hey Anon necessarily. He's focused on growing the market sector and positioning himself as the voice of the sector, being the DeFAI, however I pronounce that, sector. And he's legitimizing it. And in legitimizing it, he is validating his own product, and even more so growing the share of DeFi's, or DeFi's share of the AI sector as a whole in crypto. And this is kind of why it's like Solana versus Ethereum sort of thing. It's like Solana, it's like a lot of people that just seem kind of new. The braggadocio, the big talk, whatever, when you have $1 billion coin on really thin liquidity, it's like, dude, you haven't been through enough cycles yet to know that you're going to be in the gutter in a while. But it's also, bullish that he wants his project to win. But I think it's just a little narrow-minded and a little belying of inexperience.
Right. I agree.
Also,
I
can
think
we
that's a-
just please go back to AI-Fi?
Oh, dude, AI-Fi, please.
DeFAI is the
Let's,
worst
Danny,
fucking
dude.
thing.
let's ask the
Danny
community.
cursed us.
You
Oh
guys
my
sound
God.
off in the comments if you think DeFi or AI-Fi is the superior term. For
Mode
DeFAI.
had it right the first
Yeah.
time. AI-Fi is the way to go.
Yeah.
So-
But the market is just gonna decide, you know.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yeah, but the
it
market
is what it
sucks.
is. Yeah.
So it seems like, yeah, like you're saying, he's more focused on growing his own product, and it's causing waves in the market that maybe are not causing the whole market itself to grow.
Yeah.
He's trying to eat
He's-
a small
he's
pie
tr-
instead of getting the pie bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's hurting himself
And
in the long run.
getting the pie bigger should be quite easy,
Mhm.
to be honest, in these early stages. So yeah, I mean, it's another reason that I think, like, you know, I mentioned in one of my previous articles that I think some of the biggest companies ever are going to be building at the intersection of finance and AI, and obviously crypto as part of the financial side. And you know, these AI teams coming in and just launching tokens and then not really doing anything else crypto related. It's like, okay, these are people that probably wouldn't be able to succeed on the Web 2 side. And Web 3 is thirsty enough for talent. Solana is thirsty enough for liquidity that they'll just force it. Because, you know, Eliza, they have some good developers. I think they're headed in the right direction. It isn't like, you know, it's not enterprise tech to me. It kind of gives like school project, you know, taken to the next iteration at the moment. And I know it'll get better and better and better. And I know they have really good engineers, but right now it's like, I wouldn't use it. And right now, a lot of the people using it are, you know, people figuring out how to make it work on their own, which is, you know, kind of the point of open source, and hopefully they contribute. But it's just not, it's not screaming scalable business. It's not screaming future of technology. And that's really my only issue with it. And otherwise, they're onboarding AI developers to crypto. That's net good for us. They're growing our pie. They can fight, you know, they can do whatever. And we'll just kind of leech off the beta for a while. And when it comes to shipping product, maybe, you know, we're going to have some fire.
Right on. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to get Danny on, or to go on one of his, because to evidence, he had a tweet recently where he's trying to get AI projects on. Very different approach than you kind of see with the Soul Bros or with AI16Z guy, where it's trying to network different AI protocols together to see who's going to win, right? If you can have multiple winners in a sector. I guess
yeah, and he's created a framework and is kind of wants to frame what he's doing as more infrastructural, which would allow him to trade at a premium. And he's like, what he's doing is very adept. And he doesn't even need to ship a product, because he's just, you know, announced that he's going to eventually ship this automate framework. And whether people are use it or not, he's kind of, you know, placing himself as the infrastructural player powering the category, which is just like super, super duper smart, frankly. And that's what's going to give, you know, what he's working on a little more longevity. And it's what's going to legitimize the sector much more. And he's giving people grants to use his tech to expand the sector, blow it up. And that's kind of like why Virtuals was really successful, because, you know, their whole thing was, let's pour as much fuel on the fire as we possibly can. We have these giga reflexive Ponzi-nomics. Let's just get as much deal flow as we can, and let's, you know, make this thing legit. And, you know, now AI X crypto, you know, when we were talking about it a year ago, it's like grown 10,000x thanks to these efforts. So, and I think we have another 10,000x to go. So.
Right on. I'm glad you brought up virtuals. That's my last thing I have on this segment here for now, which is kind of the doom and gloom of what's happening with AI leaders right now. Dr. DeFi said, virtuals is broken. Not a single agent could break through. AI XBT is using its own proprietary framework and used virtual just for bootstrapping the initial liquidity. Social integration does not work. Agents on X are either very erratic or do not tweet at all. They discontinued agent training module. So no matter what you're building, you're stuck with a generic LLM wrapper, which tweets based on your description of the agent. You cannot train it on specific data sets and fine tune the model. Builders, projects, owners on Virtual know what I'm talking about. If they need to be relevant, Virtual needs to completely revamp the infrastructure. Virtual's also hit very hard, down 50% from its all-time high, which was at the beginning of this month. Thoughts on that? Do you think that's accurate? They say they have these hyper-reflexive economics. Is this just a blip, or is he onto something here?
I mean, the thing is, it's like, you know, I'm happy to play devil's advocate, and I can FUD any AI company, you know, for an hour straight any day of the week. But the thing is, like, the market sector was born and legitimized like what, 3 months ago, and everybody's complaining that, you know, things aren't perfect quite yet. You know, I think, you know, what we're seeing are possibilities, and we're seeing, you know, the market evolve really, really rapidly. So sure, like, I believe what he's saying. You know, I guarantee you it's a piece of shit. But the thing is, like, scaling these solutions is really, really hard. You know, and like, we're a team that has been focused on scaling for a year instead of getting in front of users, and hardly anybody knows who we are relative to Virtuals or AI16Z. And you can't really have both. You know, so I like, am really happy that you have the Daniellis, you have the Virtuals, you have the AI16Zs legitimizing the category, and then players like us, you know, are going to move in, and once the category matures a little bit, maybe we'll catch some of the heat, some of the excitement, and ship a product that is really, frankly, usable. And that to me is like how everything always evolves. If you remember, you know, Sushi Swap, if you remember Yams, if you remember the early days of DeFi, huge, explosive, low-tech products shipped by teams that were really savvy marketers, were able to move very quickly and were able to define the category. They were able to catch huge premiums because, you know, you as an operator within the category, imagine being the investor who's even further removed from the information than you are. They're not going to be able to tell, you know, a cat from a dog for another 6 months or so. So these people are growing the category, and then legitimate actors slowly over time eat up market share, eat up market share, eat up market share. But right now it's hot. You know, I really appreciate what these teams are doing, and it's not going to be perfect. We're probably not going to see really good product besides Codex ship in months. Like, we're going to ship, and then I imagine we'll have 3 to 6 months of wiggle room before a legitimate competitor comes out.
So just constant iteration and we're going to see continual constant iteration that is pushing the total market share, but we're not going to see like the, you know, standout products even really for another little while because this is so new.
Yeah, and I don't even think we're going to know if our product has PMF until more competitors get on the market with actual scalable products.
This is only like maybe somewhat surprising to some people because we're in crypto. Like 3 months from the start of like from the actual start of an industry. I mean, like, oh my God, like we're all so impatient that that it forces teams like this to prioritize marketing before product is actually ready to scale. Because that's the game, you know. It's like the game is ship fast and break stuff.
And you'll get enough money from doing that, and have probed the market well enough that you'll end up on the other side with enough money to figure out like what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. It's maybe not the way business was initially contrived to be conducted, but it's the newest way to do it, right? Hype up first, and then you have to deliver later. It's a symptom of the system being flush with cash, right? So everyone wants the money printer turned back on. But let's wrap this segment up here with, I want to tie this to, you know, kind of what we said in the description here, DeFi frauds exposed. I want to point out that despite what we're saying here, like this negative downturn and negative press that these projects have been receiving, specifically Virtuals and AI16Z, I would say like this isn't that crazy. I mean, this is actually still crazy, right? Like like you're saying, a 3-month market, you have this massive spike and then a 50% correction. 50% correction is not that insane when you had a 300x return, right?
It's like a no-brainer. It's like
it has to happen. Like, so I would say this is relatively fairly strong, particularly, virtual seems pretty strong. So I wouldn't count these guys out. And they're not dead. They're nowhere near dead.
And it's like it's on trend. It's like you can see the bubble kind of get formed and burst a little bit. And the thing is, like, a lot of this is just because there's more demand than there is like liquidity to supply it. And nobody on Salana or anywhere knows how to LP or is willing to LP. Because the thing is, like, imagine the virtuals chart. If once people made like a smooth 20, 30x, structured some liquidity to the upside, dude, the chart would look amazing. But people don't know how to do that, and we're finding not only the value of the market vertical or the market sector, but we're also figuring out what it is people want, what's useful, what are the words, what's the jargon that will stimulate some of this activity. So we're just figuring it out. It's been 3 months. Don't fucking cry if something doesn't work. That's like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a classic industry speed run. This is crypto. We speed run things at 10x the speed, and the result is faster innovation. So
they're like, it's $4 billion FDV. It should work perfectly, and it's like the price. People are pricing in 5 to 10 years of development, my bro. So
they almost reached the singularity of no one selling and everybody getting rich. When is the first project going to do it? No one ever.
Have you heard of Tony? Have you heard of Tony?
He's working on it. He's working on the knee capping technology to prevent sellers. I want to reply here to Crypto GG's comment. He's asking about RPCs and node functionalities. I'll just say this. Beavis kind of directed you to the Discord. For these are like specific Codex tech questions. We try to keep those on the Discord, and we kind of pull more pressing, immediate developments here on Codex Club to kind of let people know. But we do love these questions. We love when you show this kind of interest. So please hit us up on Discord or even post on Twitter, and we'll try to answer your questions there for these kind of specific things. And if we can see enough demand, if we see enough, if there's enough interest for this, we might just do a show. But like another show that's like specific to Codex developments. But we want to.
This is Club Codex, but we try to make sure that everybody in Club Codex knows what's going on across the industry.
Exactly. We're trying to center Codex, know what we're doing in relation to everything else. And then that also ties for how many sources of data does Tony integrate with today? And Samson adds visual analysis, Allura price prediction, the two big ones. Others
for trading, and then many more just for general activity. Dex Screener, Lunar Crush, but Cookie 3 hopefully very soon here, which would be awesome.
Are you guys AI'd out yet? Because I have a Masari article I've got some interesting excerpts from, or we can talk about last week's kidnappings in crypto. In our last
I was reading about the kidnappings. I mean, the kidnappings are a little bit of a non-story.
What do you mean, dude? You're in crypto. Your face is out here, dude. They could come for you.
People be getting kidnapped.
They came for a Canadian guy who only had 10 G's, bro.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no, the Canadian guy only had.
What if we can speed run both? What if we do a lightning round on the Masari article and then a lightning round?
All right, let's do it. Let's start with the kidnappings, though. Not to say it's a light thing. It's horrifying that it's happening to people, but just to remind you of the non-story, the craziness of
this is pathetic. I get kidnapped every day. Yeah. You don't see me crying about it.
Well, you got your hitters from Chicago, so you don't really have a lot to worry about.
Good thing I have less than 10 G's. Hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
I have no money.
Let's start with the Pakistani trader kidnapped and forced to hand over $340,000 in crypto.
Just be poor. That's the solution to all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Pakistan too. That's horrifying, dude.
Yeah.
30-year-old man forced to pay $340,000 from his Binance account. So, guys, if you do make any money in this field, be sure not to brag about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be Michael Igarov unless you're going to hire some bodyguards. You know what I mean? Don't be flexing your mansion. But this story was a little bit more interesting to me because it was a Canadian man who had been forced to live Airbnb to Airbnb to evade his kidnappers because the police couldn't find them. And he barely escaped. They had equipment to torture him, a 2-foot by 2-foot tarp with a hole in the middle and green hoses around it so they could cut off his limbs if he wasn't willing to tell them where his money was. But unfortunately for them, he had less than $10,000 in his bank account. He didn't have a lot of money in crypto, so it wasn't like he could pay them if he wanted to. So be safe out there, guys. Be careful about who you're bragging about your wins to and posting those P&Ls for.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, can you imagine this, dude? 2 men wearing surgical masks threatening you outside your home. Thank God I live in the South, dude.
This is why I never understood like people that are doing really good in crypto and then move to a third world country just to save some money on taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I include Canada in the list of third world countries.
Oh yeah, 51st state, dude.
It's like, dude, like move close to, a police department or something.
Move into a police department, dude.
Yeah. Move to a nice area. There's a reason that there's a premium on nice areas. It's because you got cops riding around, and then they light on fire and get burnt down. And
you guys remember that planned community we talked a little bit about in Honduras with all the tech people moving there? That's where all the crypto guys have to move to be safe. Yeah, a perfectly planned, secure island location where you have to have minimum $250,000 cash. All its own. Awesome. You're right, dude. Just stay in Florida, dude. You got castle doctrine. You can gun down anybody for any reason.
Maybe this is what all the tech founders are trying to accomplish with the gated crypto utopian community, the crypto Atlantis. Remember we were talking about that like a month ago?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some merit.
Yeah, I mean, people just want to do the Dubai playbook and then forget they don't have $1 trillion sovereign wealth funds backing them up, and then they just end up like chintzy pieces of shit.
Really, and we come back to this a lot on the show. Maybe it's a running joke at this point, but it's kind of a dark one. Slavery. That's why everyone wants to move to Dubai. Crypto people addicted to slaves. They love slaves. They want more slaves. That's why they're all moving to Dubai. Charles hates it. It's true. You can't argue it, Charles. I'm sorry.
People always talk about, I remember Mert made a post one time about how much he loves Dubai and how much he absolutely adores that the service there is so wonderful. And it's like, dude, wait till you hear about how they do that.
Well, if you remember when we were talking about the Vivek Ramaswamy post and the Elon post about Americans not working hard enough, someone posted about how in Dubai, he's like, these workers work so hard. I've been at this cafe for 10 hours and they've been out here laying bricks in the desert sun all day, no breaks or anything. The work ethic on these people is incredible. I don't think they have a choice, buddy.
Genius.
But someone asked, what's the ROA of Tony so far? Love from the Cookie team. Hey, love right back to you, Cookie. Look at all that, dude. It's looking pretty good.
He means the ROI of Tony's wallet.
Oh, on Tony's wallet? Well, I'm talking about the ROI on my wallet, buddy. Okay.
ROI on Tony's wallet is about 12%, I believe, since he started trading.
And he also de-risked pretty well from 2 separate big liquidity flushes. He was able to get a lot of capital out of the market. So, yeah, he's I believe outperforming right now. So yeah, pretty dang good. We'll have like really extensive back testing and stuff like that available soon. We're creating a huge data framework for his reinforcement training. So whatever ROI he does have, he will get better and better, which is the exciting part. Right. AI is awesome. I like when we first started building an AI, like I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out what was wrong with it. I was like trying to figure out why it was vaporware, why it was crap. And then I started, learning more about NLP and vectoring and, attention and how transformers are built and all these different things. And the thing is, it's just like all it is like a lot of math. It's just like they created this technology and were like, what if we could just do way more math all at once
Isn't
and
that
leverage
every
computers to their utmost? Which I guess that's all programs or all
Mhm.
software, but it really is just pushing hardware to its limits, which is
ever since that freak Charles Babbage and that psycho Ada Lovelace made the first computer, it's just been all, how can we do more math nonstop?
yeah.
Um,
I've been trying to like pitch my nieces and nephews on getting interested in math, but it hasn't been working that well.
Bro, you got to get them on that HTML Froggy website or whatever.
I got to get them on
Gateway drug.
I taught my
them on
nephew how to
Sudoku.
use Scratch, and then he made a really popular Scratch
Roblox
Fortnite
server?
clone.
Oh, nice.
It was kind of buggy, but then he quit so he could play baseball and talk to girls. And I was like, dude, you
Bro.
disgust me.
He's got time to do that when he's 18, okay? Ages
Exactly.
of 12 to 17 is when you should be making Roblox mods and making 10 grand a month.
Dude, he could have printed money. He was like the perfect guy for that, but
The perfect engineer for Roblox mods.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this Masari thing because we're running out of time. And I think it is kind of interesting. Basically, Masari had this analysis on AI propagation, an article. There were some seriously good critiques, essentially saying that, okay, well, let me give the positives first. There was some speculation. I don't buy this. I'm not big on gaming and metaverse, but they're saying these gaming and metaverse crypto applications are trying to use AI essentially to regain relevance. There is some synergy, but none of it is necessarily blockchain based, right? Like none of the benefits that an AI can provide a blockchain game can it not also provide to any other video game. Things like infinite replayability, more entertaining NPCs. Kind of funny though, they did say that for the metaverse it might work because since no one is there, you can program a bunch of AI agents, so it feels like you're in an actual metaverse.
Yeah.
I
mean, the thing is, it's like a lot of VCs are pressuring their portcos, who are all down terribly because VC has been getting wrecked, to become AI companies so they could like get a premium, and it's like it's just like, in a lot of people's heads, it's like, oh, you're a programmer. Well, you can do anything. I don't care what your specialty is. And they're just forcing teams to make these weird, crazy pivots that make absolutely no sense. And the thing is, it's at the absolute most, they'll, maybe catch a buzz for a few months and then it'll be right back to square one. There's like a distinct lack of conviction, I think, in the crypto VC space. A lot of trend chasing. There are maybe like 3 to 5 teams that really like invest for the long term, and the rest are just trying to ride coattails and collect management fees.
Yeah, they kind of agreed with you. My primary takeaway from this article is essentially that idea, but applied to almost any crypto sector. They say that, again, like we've said, finance is probably the closest in that you can integrate it with blockchain financial necessities, right? Like transacting and research and the like. But it's still the fight for traditional financial market share with crypto, right? DeFi versus finance, where it's like there are a lot of advantages to traditional finance, and those also synergize well with AI, right? Agents are unlikely to outperform proprietary agents developed by entities with access to robust data pipelines. For instance, Bloomberg, robust data pipeline. They could also just sit an AI on that. They're harvesting fantastic data and they can train their models extremely well. So I could just use that in typical training.
I question that, but sure.
Why?
Yeah.
I think there's an assumption that having the most data results in theoretically like being able to position yourself for AI and train the best agent or whatever. And the thing is, like, the most data is not necessarily like the highest signal data. And if you are training for a particular use case or fine tuning a model, for example, in a lot of instances, I imagine teams are fine tuning and realizing that the base model is better performing than their fine tuned model. And you need like a very specific set of data for a very specific thing to really like create a well-tuned agent or a well-tuned model.
So my argument here to challenge you on this is, and this is my own thought, I'm pulling this from the Sari article, is that outperformance being the only metric that matters when comparing trading, right? Yeah. It's unlikely that open source agents will outperform closed source ones. Success in this space will depend on fine-tuning models and leveraging diversified proprietary data pipelines. It's kind of what you're talking about, right? Like different high-quality streams of data and knowing how to put them together. Who better to put those together than specialized advisors? And who better to be these specialized advisors than traditional financial advisors who can typically sort the noise fairly effectively and then just powering them with AI tooling. Thus not erasing their position, but just giving them a new tool.
Yeah, I would just argue that traditional algorithms, like this is already a solved problem, I think, for a Bloomberg or for someone that uses a Bloomberg terminal, for example, who is probably already a proprietary trader. I think LLMs are tools to turn a commoner, so to speak, into a sophisticated operator. It's not going to make a sophisticated operator that much better anytime soon. And so like a sophisticated operator, you know, a trading strategy may work well for the amount of time it takes to train an agent or a model. And some trading strategies like the cash and carry trade have worked well for several years during, you know, certain time periods when the market's hot, when there's a lot of interest. That's like a crypto strategy that Athena uses that has historically been known to scale really well. But the thing is, like the markets evolve so quickly that I don't think AI is really the solution. And the people using AI are going to basically be using it to take what data they have access to, even if it is like really high level data or low level data, depending on your perspective. Even if they're using that, it's like they're using it to kind of ape or imitate the truly elite, sophisticated traders who are doing like everything that you might want to do with AI, but faster, more intelligently, and more adaptive with the current kind of financial programming paradigm. So I just don't think there's an edge to be gained for the proprietary trader or for the professional trader from AI. Although I do think that there is going to be like the financial advisor tier guy who's maybe not that smart. You know, maybe he got C's in school, has some good connections, you know, is managing, you know, $25 million, you know, of his family and friends' money, and then, you know, some external clients. That is maybe the market for a really sophisticated LLM, because, you know, he's not doing anything too crazy, but it's like a cost analysis. Like, is that cheaper than just outsourcing execution to a trading firm?
And it's rare that you're going to get like a multi-decade trade or like even a multi-year trade where you can't, if you want to put on a different trade, you're going to have to train a different model, is what you're saying also.
Yeah, you need, like, I think, yeah, AI is just going to make normal people smarter. It's not going to make the elite of the elite. It's not going to improve their outcomes. And if you own a Bloomberg terminal, like, you know, I don't think, unless you're like a noob and you just have it because you can afford it, I don't think like it's going to be moving the needle that much for you. And I don't know if it's going to be cheaper to subscribe to this or to keep the model updated than just outsourcing your execution, which a lot of really smart people do. It's like if you're managing a big portfolio, you're not an elite trader. You just, in the crypto world, you send, you know, a bag of coins to Cumberland or to Wintermute or to, you know, whoever, whatever trading firm. They do all the trading, take a small fee, and you're probably going to get a better outcome with that than you would, using an LLM. And small margins equal huge outcomes. I think AI is a retail product for like finance, in my opinion, and maybe for some other.
It does kind of seem that way from some of the conversations I've heard around AI and from what you're saying here, Beavis, in that typical like a script written at Jane Street or whatever is way faster, and it's programmed to do one specific thing under what very specific conditions, which is exactly what you'd be looking for when exploiting market asymmetries, right? And the job would be finding those patterns, right? But there's also scripts they run.
Yeah,
that do
and
that.
they're like, all these firms are technically using AI. They're just not using an LLM or like the type of generative AI that we see with ChatGPT. They're using types of machine learning that are much faster and more performant.
So kind of what we're getting from this, though, is that you and I are not going to, you're not expecting to see traditional finance, these blockchain products that are being developed, being sold to traditional finance companies in the future. This is blockchain specific and consumer specific type products.
Citadel is not going to buy into your LLM company. They're already out trading you.
No.
Yeah, believe it or not.
We need Citadel to ape.
But the whole
CDX.
reason we're creating Codex Create is because the average person who gets body bagged by Citadel 7 days a week will be able to operate more intelligently and identify liquidity conditions a little better than they would normally, or a lot better even. But compared to like an MIT quant that does this 80 hours a week, off his gourd on modafinil, it's not happening. They figured it out. Trust me.
Yeah. Real quick, and then we can wrap up here with community. But I think that's a good point. Let's wrap up this Masari point here, being that Masari might be missing the mark here, in that it's more. It's not so much that this is going to change it's not going to raise the skill cap of trading, right? It's not going to make trading a whole or finance some whole new beast. What it's going to do is it's going to raise the floor.
Exactly.
So more basic users can participate more meaningfully in financial structures that were too much before for them to handle.
100%. Right? That's a really great way to put it. You're increasing the average. You're not. This is a breakthrough for everyday people. This isn't a breakthrough for prop firms.
It's if a nerd analogy may apply, it's like when World of Warcraft made it so that you could just buy a max level character right off the bat to play the end game.
Wait, can you really do that?
Yeah, you can character boost up to like whatever, so you can play the latest expansion. It makes sense, right? All this stuff from 1 to 60 is.
Oh, we missed talking about Elon Musk scandal.
It's like,
that's so sad.
We'll save that for
it's
later.
like Elon training up, getting a pro trader to build himself a character and then playing with it.
Exactly.
And you're
Now
not
can
gonna, the pro player is not benefiting from this, but Elon, as someone who
Certainly
wants to use,
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. I think that pretty well sums
we
it
really
up.
brought it full circle.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
job,
sorry
guys.
we didn't get to stablecoins aren't cheaper, they're better, but that is an interesting idea. Maybe we can come back to that next week because I'm sure it's
I had
gonna
two
have
things to
some-
talk about, and you skipped them both. So
Actually, I brought up the first one. I shoved the first one down your mouth up front, actually, if you remember.
All right, yeah.
You missed your cue, and I had to
Charles.
lob it up to you, dude. We should be taking this off stream, by the way, though. We don't want them to see us like this. But yeah, let's move on to community here. I think I have something.
I
for
love
this,
that
don't I?
community, dude.
No, I don't have anything for that. But let me puke up Pepper here. He's always on here. This guy loves making content for us, and we love him for it. Pepper, another great post here. Codex got so much going on, lots of texts and papers to analyze, but I've got no time to do it. It's true. It's the content hose has been going. If you're not seeing Beavis's articles, you need to follow him. You need to follow the Codex org account. He's putting something out, it seems like every week here, describing what we're doing at Codex, where we're going, the grand narrative of it. Last one, what you call it, the Giga Swarm, of AI agents.
Yeah.
If you understand the Giga Swarm, you'll understand the market in 6 months. I'm telling you this. When
You're
it comes
locked
to
in now,
AI.
Beavis. You're gonna have to keep pumping out articles, or
Oh, yeah.
else.
That's
I've
okay.
committed you.
Bro, you gotta follow
loves it,
Pepper
dude.
from the Codex account.
Oh yeah, no.
Gotta give that-
Dude, I
gotta
can't.
give
I
that
can't
guy a
throw off a
follow.
ratio like that. You know, I'm sorry. I
Wow.
followed my personal. All right. Look, it's important for the algo. Okay, I didn't make the rules. Surgeon here, first time I've seen him on here. Bull posting Codex and signal boosting our demo. Thank you so much. And Tim Schultz, fan favorite, doing some TA.
Tim Schultz, the
on
world's
Tony.
greatest technical analyst.
And look at this. He's
I gotta be
calling it-
honest. He has been.
He's been on
pretty-
point.
He hasn't been wrong yet. So I'm not the biggest TA advocate ever, but Tim Schultz has proven me wrong. Tim Schultz is gonna bring me to believe all TA is correct.
And like D4 Much says, if you didn't read OX Jeff's recent piece, he talks about how Tony's outperforming the market and reinforcing that Tony is literally the only agent that's actually trading, despite the thousands that are saying they are. So yeah, check him out, dude. Tony's a freaking monster. Tony's a beast.
Yeah.
Love that, Walrus.
And he's doing it all on his own. While we may go in there and tinker with his brain sometimes, we never move his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's exactly
we might be
right.
hooking
Clip
up his
that.
nerves. Yeah, clip that, make it go viral. But we're going to spin the wheel. I don't have the names yet. Again, we're going to have to drop your names in the Discord. If you're watching in Discord, at Corval, and I'll add you to the wheel and I'll hop in there after this and spin it for you. Give you guys your points. You know what I'm saying? And again, our community highlight there on content. We are also awarding points for people that create content about Codex, explaining Codex, just celebrating Codex, what we're doing here. Anything to help signal boost us, we appreciate it. And you have a chance to win some points if you do it. Just be sure to add us at codex.org. And yeah, I guess I got the rest of the call to actions here. We got so much we beg our audience to do for us. Please like, subscribe, retweet, follow Charles, follow Beavis, send them $50,000. They'll use it properly. No, I'm kidding. But thank you all so much for tuning in and watching with us. We'll see you again next week on Codex Club. Anything else from you guys?
Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Got that CDX token, we the ones chosen. Every stake,